Hey guys, Carl Customs here, and I'm back again for another video. For another part of my Sly Cooper edition. This is part 2, painting part. Before we get in, I just wanted to say I forgot to make Sly Cooper's cane. So here today, what I've done. So see this little clay bit. Well, it's actually a little stapler bit that I covered around in clay. You'll see it full in a second. I just gotta finish doing it. I recorded a clip of me doing it, but it didn't come out, so I'll just show you in 1 second of it all done. Okay, now on to painting the figures. So before we get started on making these, first I wanted you guys to all make sure you're already ready with all the pieces. So here, what you'll need is a blue body and arms. It could be anything, but you'll have to mix the colors together to get that color. So, we need that. Oh, and here's some, I got some two, peg legs, from either, a pirate or, a robot, figure you may find. I figured because his legs are sort of skinny at the end. And I saw this technique used on a Lego, Finn from Adventure Time, and it looked cool and cartoony, and thought it really would fit Sly Cooper. So yeah, you're gonna need those. So I'll put these all up to the side. And then, of course, you'll need this tailpiece. This tailpiece is otherwise known as, what's his name? Rocket Raccoon from the Guardians of the Galaxy sets. You'll need that. And, of course, you'll need the clay we made last time with Sly Cooper. So let's just get started. First off, the paints you're going to need will consist of, some yellow paint, actually. Never mind what I just said there. Some white paint. And then what else will you need? You also need black paint. And I'm pretty sure there's no, golden brand version of gray. But if you do have gray, you should use that because I'm going to be mixing these two. But if you do have gray, then, if you do have gray from another brand, then, just make sure you just still have them, black and white too for the side, because we'll need those colors separately, not mixed. And the other colors we'll need will be blue, and lastly, brown. So, let's get started. So, starting off with the tail, I am going to make a little ring going around everywhere. Hold on. Let me get better lighting going here. And there we go. So, now you can catch the subject a little bit better. Oh, and a tip is with this stuff, you're gonna wanna do a toothpick for all the smaller details. So get that in shot there. It's really hard to focus on painting this thing and get it in shot, just to let you know. I'm trying not to bump the camera and trying to see. It's really hard to do this kind of tutorial because really hard, because I gotta focus on what I'm doing and see if you guys can see it as well. So here we got. Okay, may have a little too much light. I'm having a severe light malfunction. So here's a little black ring running around the tail. We're just gonna do that space. I'm just gonna space them out and paint them all over the place. So I'll be back in a second. Alright, so this is the final product. Should be the easiest thing to do out of all, so just give them little rings running all around the whole entire tail. So that has to do it for Sly Cooper's tail, so I'm just going to put this off to the side. And now let's move on to the next piece. So here is the torso piece. So what I want to do here, what you're going to want to do, just get some black paint and get your toothpick. And what you want to do is leave little streaks going here going all over the place. This is supposed to like represent like the creases in his shirt. And if you make two big globs of like lines, like if it's too globby or whatever. Hold on, give me a minute. Sorry about that shaking. And if it's like too globby like it's right here, you can like scrape it off, which I'm gonna show in a second. So I'm gonna get some more paint. Alright, so we're back, and okay, so I'm gonna have to scrape that off majorly because I did such a bad job. But anyways, something it should look like is it's supposed to represent the creases in his shirt. So I'll come back to you with it all scraped off and fixed. Okay, so that's what I did for the creasings in his shirt. I just really wanted to show him because I want to give him some like illustrations and cartoony look to him because the whole game is like he's like so cartoony and very outlined. It's a way I really can't explain, but it's sort of like that. And if we move up right here, I'm going to plan on painting like where the second half of the arms, and I'm gonna paint the little V-neck for him. So I'm just gonna quickly do that, and then I'll show you the final product. Alright, so I'll show you the final product of that later. But now, let's work on SLY's head. So, if I have him propped up against this. So, let's just paint. So, get your paint ready. I already mixed up my white and gray. So what we're gonna do is just paint all of this right here. So paint up to his ears. Paint that. Cover that all around his paint. Try to avoid the hat. Doesn't really matter because we're gonna be painting over that. So you can just just paint all on everything, just like that. All on the nose. Oh, I'm sorry, I was out of frame there. So keep on just painting that. Trying to find the best angles here. And if I gather up some more paint. So this is his backside, just so you don't get confused. And keep on stroking. Oh, I accidentally hit the hat, but that's alright. Yeah, I'm trying to talk about things while I'm painting, so yeah. I don't really think. Oh, sorry, I accidentally got paint on something. But I don't actually think like So speaking of Sly Cooper, there's going to be a Sly Cooper movie coming out pretty soon, in the next year actually. And I haven't heard much about it. All I've seen is the trailer that came out like January of 2014. Wow. I actually found out that they were making a Sly Cooper movie like in like the summer of that year. I really somehow did not miss it. It was like one of my favorite games of all time. It's one of my first games of all time. And I'm happy I'm able to paint a custom out of him. Alright. So I'm going to set that off to dry, and then we're just going to go on to the next thing I have to paint. So here are the two legs right here. Peg legs. Oh, dog. So I'm just going to paint them entirely except for the feet. So I don't think if that's worth recording that much. So I'm just going to do it and show you guys the final product. Alright, now I'm going to be working on Sly Cooper's cane. It's pretty simple. So the piece I showed you guys earlier, so here it is. I glued it onto the stick. It's sort of unstable, so I'm going to try to be careful. And hopefully it'll have a good outcome. I may like tape over it, and then like paint over the tape so it looks seamless, but I think it just might be okay, so I'm going to show you guys. So I'm going to get to painting it right now. Alright, so here's the color I got. I mixed this with one of my dark yellows and my gold. So I'm just gonna paint the cane. So focus it on there. I've stopped a lot of focus because I'm shooting. All my videos have been shot using YouTube Capture on my iPod. I mean, it works good. I mean, there's like some problems that follow along. Oh, I painted a little far down. I'm gonna either scrape that off or just cover it with black. I won't film that, but just try to be weary of that guys. Another technique I would suggest you doing, if you want to do some a circle or anything if you want to be in straight lines, what you can do is get some tape and put it over the things you don't want to paint. Then you can paint what you haven't taped, and it comes out with this really straight line thing. It works really well. I suggest you guys should do it. I got the idea for myself, but some people may have already done it before, but that's just wanted to explain that. So I'm just gonna fill in some of the little crevices in there that I have missed. So this is a really good time. This is my favorite part of the year, the summertime, so can't wait for the summer. There's going to be a lot going on for me, my family, so that's kind of cool to look forward to. School's almost out, no more stress, no more thinking about it. Now I can just get full into YouTube in the swing of summer for what my channel has to offer, so you guys should be ready for that. Oh, and the thing is, I am going to the midnight release of Batman Arkham Knight, and the thing is, it works out perfectly, because my last day of school is June 22nd, and it's June 23rd, so literally, it's a half day of school, and then so I just gotta go to school, and then on the same night that the school year's over, is also the beginning of summer, and I can be able to play the game without worrying about school, which is something I'm glad about. I'm glad they pushed it 3 extra weeks. Which is, well, I really wish we could have gotten it sooner, but honestly, it's so cool now that it's at this part of the year. So I accidentally got some fingerprints of other paints the gray on there, so I'm gonna scoop that off and clean the thing up for a second. Okay, so if we return to the body, there's some things I have to do. I have to paint on his scarf using the same color I used. So just gonna mix it up. So here we go. I'm just gonna paint all around it. I'm gonna paint a little outline of it. So I just paint it all around it, so you can sort of see the ring there. And then I'm going to outline it with black to show off the wrinkles. It's really, you know what? I think I'm just gonna do this with a toothpick. My yellow paint's starting to dry up. Oh, and for the palette, I'm actually using a plate, honestly, because I don't want to go out and buy a palette, because plates has to offer probably just as much. I mean, it probably wouldn't go so well for what paint is supposed to be used for, which people don't expect it to be used for Lego. I wonder who started the whole paint Legos things. Whoever it is a smart guy who inspired a lot. Alright, so that's sort of what it looks like. So I gotta take a second to add on some more paint, because I gotta paint on the little belt he has. Alright, so this is what I came out with. So here's his little belt. So here's the important part. So if I can focus it on here, because come on, focus. There we go. So here you can sort of see 2 little bumps right here and here. That's important. I'll show you about it later. So anyway, so up here is his scarf area. So what I'm going to do is get some black paint and outline where the creases are. So I'm going to get the black paint ready. Sorry, this is taking a little too long. And then what you want to do is sort of do with the creasings in the shirt. You want to just put random lines everywhere. So I'm just going to do that. Maybe a little out of cam because it's really not that hard of a process, but I really got to pay attention. Sorry if you can hear dog activity up there. Those are my 2 dogs and my aunt's dog. They're going crazy out there. Yeah, this is definitely out of shot. So you can sort of see these black dots. They're supposed to represent the creases. I'm going to try to show this off as much as I can, but I sort of got to focus. And I think I'm just going to... I think I'm going to outline these bumps because the thing is I did with the bumps on this belt, that's supposed to... I'm going to outline with that with black. That's supposed to represent, the little raccoon symbol he has on his belt. And I may not be able to get that into shot. So I sort of made some of the creases a little too big, so I'm going to scrape them off. It will cover them up with some paint, so I'll get back to you with that done. Alright, so here is the belt piece. So this may be a little bit out of shot. So here it is. I'm just going to outline the 2 bumps and do the raccoon symbol that he has. You gotta do this very, very slowly. You don't want to get the black outline, then you're trying to do it too chunky. Had to be nice, slow, and calm. You'll get the best results that way, trust me. Just going at it nice and slowly. Gotta restock on paint for my toothpick, so you be very, very careful. This is sort of weird for me because it's my first time actually recording and I gotta be wary of making sure you guys can see what's going on, and I gotta make sure I know what the heck I'm doing. This is turning out pretty well for my first try because sometimes I screw up and I gotta redo the process. So here's what it should look like, just like that. So here's what it should look like. This little bit at the end, don't mind this, I'm gonna take that off, that was a mistake. So I'm just gonna fix everything up and I'll get back to you. Okay guys, I think that's gonna do it for this part. This has already been a long video, and the more I add on to it, the harder it's gonna be to upload to YouTube. So here's a more clearer look of my work, because I think this angle is a lot better than the other one. Yeah, so here's a better look at everything. So here, right there, I'm trying to point at it, but I can't because I'm holding this. So here is the Sly Cooper head, partially painted. The cane, which is practically done. And here's the front of his torso, is also practically done too. And here's the side of his arms on each side. They're painted at the cuffs with his regular fur. Here's the backpack glued on, unpainted. And here is his tail. And here is his legs, not done either. And here's his hands, which are going to be painted in blue. Actually, if you have blue hands, you can just paint the wrists the yellow, because I really do not have blue hands to then paint it to yellow. Well, actually, I do have some Batman blue hands. You know what? Actually, I'm going to use those. My bad. So I hope you guys enjoyed that video. That was a long video, so I hope you enjoy. And stay tuned for next part, which is coming out in a few days, of the final finishing of this figure.